All right, looks like we're live. Welcome to Sunday Night Sessions. I'm Tracy Jameson along with Val Smith. And it's been several months since we've been here. It's really great to be back on the saddle, so to speak. Hey, Val, and we've got a lot of things. We haven't been idle over the last 6 months, but we've been working hard and got a lot of things on the go. And I know that Val has a lot of things to say. I'm not going to get the space. As usual, you always have a lot of things. We both do. We have a lot of fun on these Hangouts. That's what it's all about. But you know what? I'm going to just hand over the controls to you right away because we've got a lot of things that we want to share here. So, Val, buddy, over to you.
What's the date today? It's July 17th.
Yeah.
And when was our last Hangout?
January 17th. Isn't that crazy?
January 17th. Isn't that amazing? We didn't choreograph this. It just kind of happened that way.
Yeah, that's
well,
yeah. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, it's great to be back. It's great to be back in the saddle, and we're going to talk about something that we're launching. We're in a soft launch right now, mentoring millionaires, and Tracy and I have been contemplating this for a number of months, really, just based on all the aggravation we've been going through. Hey, Trace?
Oh, no kidding. To say it lightly.
Such as?
Such as, well, let's just say disappointing. I think, it's disappointing when people let you down, companies let you down. People kind of end up with, wearing, wolves in sheep's clothing. And we found out the only people that we really can rely on are us, really, in that regard, from what we've experienced, right? I'm not saying that there's really good people out there, there's good companies out there, but it's been a real realization, I think, on my part for sure, and I'm sure for you as well, that, maybe we were trying to avoid the inevitable. And, it just seems that the right thing eventually occurs because it's the right thing or it's the correct thing. And, we kind of danced around the whole things and had to really, I think, make sure it was the right thing. And surely enough, it really was. It was a process that we went through, and I'm sure everybody else goes through. But we're in a good place now, and I couldn't be happier. I mean, just the potential and where we're going right now, I think is really a very, very bright future for everyone.
Yeah, I really think the timing's right, too. I think the frustration level's got to be out there. Just looking around the internet, nothing changes. It's the same result. It's just new people recycling the same people and all these matrix programs going around. Nothing wrong with matrices as long as people are working the program. But, for us, it probably won't be a bill where we put 500,000 people in right away. But you know what? It'll be a bill for conscientious, enthusiastic people that want to learn how to market correctly and have a business platform that's professional and impressive and offers their clientele just an amazing support structure that I think is 5-star. When you take a look at some of the things that Tracy's going to show you tonight in the back office, we'll show you some things in the back office, and there's going to be all kinds of things that are added to Mentoring Millionaires. But the whole idea is to really help people come out of the closet and brand themselves and communicate and engage and talk and the phone skills, all these things that are so lacking. There's so many companies out there that offer tools and services, but they don't offer you a chance to be you in those businesses. And, you've got companies out there that charge $50 a month and $19 a month. But what are they really offering outside of a bunch of capture pages? Where's the training? Where's the mentorship? Where's the, where's the shepherd that has had great success in the past to lead people to the promised land? And what are we doing here, Tracy, the comp plan? What are we doing with the comp plan here? Are we paying people or are they just going to have to pay us?
Well, this is the sweet spot. This is what I love about. I think everybody's really going to get a great charge out of this, is because you know what? We're not going to take people's money. We're not going to hold it. We're not going to wait for them for 6 weeks to send them a check. Maybe like a lot of companies do. It's instant gratification, and I think in this industry, that instant gratification has been a big thing because that's what you're talking about, training people about building a business, building the connections and all that kind of stuff. And the industry per se has really has been capitalizing on that instant gratification thing, but for the wrong reasons, right? For the wrong reasons. We're going to take the instant gratification and do it the right way and give people those instant payments. And I think that's going to be, I tell you, when people get wind of that, it's all over, right?
Especially when they take a look at what we're offering, from live training to recorded training to the capture pages. And how much money are we paying out? How much money are we paying out?
Oh, $100. $100. $100. $100.
$100 on a $147 purchase. And what we're also doing is we're teaching people the appropriate methodologies for using a capture page. It's amazing how many people or service providers out there have incredible marketing systems, but what they do is they teach training on strictly marketing techniques and email writing or scripting around those particular systems. But where's the training around being yourself, being authentic, being a professional business person, being approachable, being a person that's willing to engage and not kind of, go into hibernation mode? It's pretty amazing to see that.
Well, and I know that a lot of systems out there, they spend a great deal of time teaching funnels. And a funnel has to exist because you have to be able to make that connection with someone. But the unfortunate part of a lot of these systems is people spend so much time in the school learning how to do so many components. By the time they get to the 10th component, they're either broke or they're tired or they're confused and they've not made any money, and they're no further ahead than they were when they started in that process. And this is what I love about you, Val, and I've learned so much from you, as has everyone else. And the communication factor, I've always known it's been communication because, of course, I've come from the corporate industry, and you have to be able to communicate with your clients and with your staff members and all that kind of stuff. And if you don't, then who are you? So the correct way of doing it has been left out of the structure, and all of these companies. People are no further ahead. There's still nobody. There's still, and I don't mean that to insult anyone. I'm just using that as a broad spectrum. It's just that, in a sea of people, how do you rise to the top of the sea of all these people if nobody knows who you are, right?
Well, how are you supposed to build a business when it's all these tools that are being used to manipulate people, to draw them into your vortex? It just, there's no logic to it. How many people have been doing this for a number of years, and they keep repeating history and history and history and history again, and have nothing to show for it, particularly in the MLM programs, which we love MLM. We're not here to knock it, but you need tens of thousands of people just to make a couple $1,000s a month, because you're constantly filling in holes. And if you take a look at the superstars in this industry, it's all about them. It's not even about their company. They're not even branding their company. These superstars break free of that, and they brand their systems, their training, their newsletters, their blogs, their YouTube channels, all that stuff. They are totally hypnotizing people to buy into them, And so why should we be out there marketing static websites that have no connection to you or I? I'm still, as I sit here right now, because I was just talking to a solo ad provider just before we got on here. You know who he is. We can talk about that later. Anyhow, it's always, I said, would you let us use our capture pages? And he said no. He's got his system, his methodology designed so it'll get X amount of clicks, and he feels comfortable with something that's successful based on his terms, but not willing to engage on something that's based on our terms. Yeah.
Right. But nobody else. And you see, that's kind of where, and it's really a shame, because people have been led astray, and it's no fault of theirs, because if you don't know, you don't know. Our systems that are like, people like the funnel system, it's all about the company. It's all about their system. And there's another individual being fed into that system. You're still lost in the process, right? And so, and Val, you nailed it. From the day that I met you, about, the eye contact, getting to know personally each other and building that relationship. But even in the world of Google, you have to take a look at, even structurally, that video is king, right? Yeah. Video is king.
Yeah,
so
that's what we're doing. Sorry, go ahead, Trace.
No. Go ahead, Val. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and that's one of the other components we offer. We do have the static pages, all right? We have the static pages to satisfy those that are at that plateau. But I like what Lori said. when we were on that call, she said, most people are afraid to come into the light. And so as much as the internet's a beautiful world and a great mechanism to make money, there's a very dark side, very strong predatory side to the internet as well, too. And until people are willing to engage and move and start like this, start moving forward and forward and forward and forward and forward and just taking little baby steps at a time into the light, they're going to be stuck in that place of frustration and feeling scammed and cheated and playing the role of a victim. And we've talked about this many times before in other hangouts, so I don't want to harp on it. But the idea that we created here with Tracy's skill and expertise was to create the video capture pages. The video capture pages are paramount. It allows you to express who you are, because anyone that's willing to tell you the truth about marketing is my story. It's your story. It's his story. It's her story. Our kids come home and they tell us, well, my kids, because my kids are still in school and some have grown up, but my kids will come home and tell me how their day was. It's their story, their world, their experience, and that way we engage because there's a story. If my kids don't come home and tell me how school was and we have this silent disconnection in the house, I mean, that's strange and awkward. You know what I mean? If there's no interest in anything like that. So that's why I have a hard time getting why people are willing to accept. And I was watching Anthony Robbins, earlier today, one of these really cool breakthrough videos he had, and talking about how people are subconsciously programmed to protect themselves in a comfort zone, and they now have to start they need to discover why they're so protective and sabotaging their success, or sabotaging, manifesting an illness in their body that they won't let go of, to basically compensate for something or to feel an external crutch needed for something in a past experience. And it's amazing how many people are still throwing money at business opportunities, but yet justify why they don't want to move forward, progress, and become successful, even if it's small steps at a time. People will defend their trash before they'll defend their success. And it's always the same thing. Everyone talks about, I want to make money, I'm on the internet to make money, but their biggest fear is, how much does it cost? You see how big of a contradiction that is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People are just walking, living, breathing contradictions, and they justify it, and they challenge those that try to help them and correct it. They go silent, or, there's some people just don't want to be taken away from their mediocre comfort or illusionary environment that they live in. You know what I mean?
What's really interesting, and you're right, it's kind of like people have gotten into this sort of self-protective mode, and even in that whatever that shell they're in, I mean, it's painful, people talk about, I'm so broke, I need to make money right now, and all the other things that go into it, the criterias. But they won't step out of that. They protect that like that is their whole world. And, being able to even just step out a little bit and test it, and step out a little bit and test it, and step out a little bit and test it. I don't know how our society has gotten into that. I mean, we've done that with our texting. People's social skills suck. I know my son talks to me about that. He says he can't pick up the phone and call a girl. They'll text all day long, but they won't pick up the phone. So, there's a big disconnect in that, and people sort of think that that's the relationship, and it really isn't. You talk about you use several examples about dating and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know why people have really cemented themselves into to really protect that destructive model when it doesn't work. They proved it doesn't work, and yet they'll go and repeat that thing over and over and over again. It's a new thing. It's a new thing. It's a new thing. But it's not different. It's the same thing over and over and over again. So if nothing changes, nothing changes, right? So, and this is where, we want to take people and at least give them some baby steps, encourage them, show them the right tools. I mean, you're the master, Val. I mean, you've got a track record better than anybody else, pretty much that I know of, and you can prove it over and over and over again. So I can't tell you how many, to everyone out there that's watching, I can't tell you how many things I have learned from you by analyze, and I want you, because you analyze everything. You see things a little bit differently than most people do. You see it from a different angle. And it always amazes me, because I think I'm pretty good at analyzing things, and then you come in with something completely different. Like, I get that. But you know what? It's you want to model after the people that can do that. You know, if you're, like you say, if you're following, you know, somebody that's claiming to be a guru and they're, you know, they're totally broke, then obviously they're not doing the right things, and yet they're trying to sell you the things that they're claiming they're not. So that's wrong. That's just incorrect. You know, and you've got the clout, you've got the history to prove that these are the things that work. So, you know, if we can take people, show them what we've got, put this together, which we've spent a great deal of time putting this whole structure together. I'm very, very proud of what we've produced with Mentoring Millionaires, and I think it really is the ticket in the industry that people are looking. I think people are tired, they're beat up. There's been a real sort of, from everyone I've talked to over the last, I don't know, 6 months, a year, it's people are frustrated. So, you know, there's got to be a better way. And this truly is it. Let people really come out of their shells and be recognized as a real being, instead of just a, you know, a flower daisy profile picture. Why would I want to talk to them? You know, so I think that once people really see what we've got, we're going to do a little walkthrough on this here in a little bit, but I'm really excited about what we put together and where we're going with this. And so far, the feedback's been very good.
It's been sensational. People can't believe that we're offering it for $147 one time out of pocket, $47 a year annually to sustain and maintain the subscription. To get the time, effort, and energy, all those websites put together. Admin gets $47 a year to run a company that works out to, what's that, $11 a month?
Yes.
You know, and somebody would have the mental capacity to say, well, I don't know, I just can't afford it, you know, to be trained and have this type of leadership and to learn how to close people in 45 seconds or less, or learn how to get involved in businesses without taking money out of your pocket. Or like I said to, you know, group tonight, to they went silent when I said it, because I don't know if they're tarnished or, you know, cynical, skeptical, jaded, but you know, you could take this affiliate program, because we're not multi-level marketing, $147 one time out of pocket. You can literally right now, if I was sitting here right now, because you said I think differently, other people are looking at debt. I don't have time for that, because life's too short to be focusing on debt and poverty and, you know, what I'm separating myself from. But if I were a new person looking at this with the crazy brain that I have, because I'm always, you know, proactive and positive about these type of things, I'd be saying, hey, look, you know what? maybe I have a $98,000 house. Like down in the United States, people live in $98,000 houses, $170,000 houses, $200,000 houses. The average person, a $200,000 house down in the United States is probably about $1 million here for what you can get. So I'm not going to compare Canadian prices, because you don't get nothing for $98,000 here. You don't get a driveway. So if I were living in the U.S. and I had $98,000 and I had a $63,000 mortgage, I could literally have that. I believe I could literally have that house paid off in about 18 to 24 months out of that $147.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have to take or bust my butt going to work from 9 to 5 to be paying a mortgage and home insurance and the utility factor. You could literally replace all those hours that you'll never get back again in your life if somebody had the mental capacity to say, yeah, I could spend $147 to learn how I could pay my mortgage off in 24 months and pay that $63,000 off through leveraging concepts, but using that as seed money. But I just said that, like, if you could pay your mortgage off for $147, there's actually going to be people here that'll listen to that, Tracy. They'll be cynical, skeptical, and jaded. You know what they'll do? They'll still go out there and spend $900 a month, not $147 one time. They'll still be going cuckoo, 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 and spend $947 a month on a mortgage, or $714 on a mortgage, month after month after month, when they wouldn't even have to do that out of their Hip City Pocket Bank or their savings account or their 9 to 5 income. And that's the two different worlds. That's my whole point about the sickness on the internet, the cynicism, the jadedness. There is so much opportunity to learn to grow, to learn how to do that. If I can show you how to pay your mortgage off in 24 months, $147 one time out of pocket, and all the profits would be going to pay your mortgage, would that be worth 22 minutes of your time? There's people out there that would say, no, I don't believe that. I'm cynical. I'm skeptical. I'm jaded. That's not possible. Cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. You know, and that's that's but that's, it's not their fault that they're cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. It's just the internet has done that to them because, you know, predatorial marketing out there. They're being trained by a younger generation, kids in their 30s. I'll call them kids in their 30s. I don't mind doing that because I'm over 50 now. But I would want to be trained by the people that have been in the trenches. When you see the greatest marketers in the world, the greatest companies in the world, they're not internet gurus. The greatest companies don't waste too much time on the internet because they understand that cuckoo, cuckoo mentality, right? It's out there on the internet. You know, people are just, they don't get it. They're looking for, oh, I got to sign up. Oh, I got to sign up. Cough 3 more times and you get 3 more signups. They just want, they want to scratch their head or scratch their leg or, you know, cough 3 times and get 3 signups. I mean, does anyone see how pathetic that is? Like how much of a turnoff that is? And then, you know, you brought up something about dating because I always say marketing is like dating. It's a courtship. Yeah. You know, you go out and you find somebody that moves you, empowers you. You'll find people that are strong personality, like potentially me, that might be too dominant and too intelligent. And so that might intimidate people that are just kind of like down there, right? So, but what you brought up an interesting point because I was visualizing as you were saying, one of the things that freaked me out is you were talking about text messaging and what people are actually doing today. Look how scummy text, like, you know, how dating is. Like some people will literally say, yeah, I'll go meet you. They'll say, yeah, I'll go meet you. And then, you know, the one party will be sitting on the cafe, you know, on the outdoor patio, and the other person will go there and text just to see who's responding. And then they won't show up if they don't feel physically attracted to what it is they're seeing, texting back. You know what I'm saying? They're hiding around a corner like a little chicken, you know, like in the dark, you know? But we didn't do that dating back in the day. It was kind of like, will you go around with me, huh? You know? It was that. Yeah. I'm joking. I say that. Will you go around with me? Will you go out with me? Will you go to the prom with me? And now it's like you got a text to go to the prom with somebody, and they do it from a distance now. And then even when you do go on a date with them now, it's so socially revolting because you got 2 couples there, and they're texting while they're eating dinner, drinking wine and steak, and they're not talking. They're texting to other people. It's pathetic. And so the frustrating part for me is to see people buying into that world that say they want a better life, they would love to pay their mortgage, they'd love to give their kids more, they'd love to give their spouses more, they'd love to go on more vacations, they'd love to have more disposable income, but yet they're so afraid to take the simple, easy baby steps, which a grade 2 child could do, and become successful. People are so wrapped up in becoming broke, they don't know it. It's like subconscious. They're not consciously thinking about it, but subconsciously, the totality of their actions tells you that there's so much pain inside of them, so much damaged. I mean, damaged goods inside of these people out there that something has to happen. So we want to do it baby steps at a time. We know a lot of people are afraid to be on the camera. You could just, you know, we want to do things in training where you just get in front of your camera and you don't even have to do this in public. Is just sit there in front of your camera and look at yourself. And just stare at yourself, and nobody else sees that, and just see yourself, you know, on video. Nobody has to see it, not even your husband, your wife, your kids, nothing, and just acclimatize to doing that. And one of the things I told you before, Tracy, you heard me say this in a discussion before, we were on a 3-way call. So much information, eh? This lawyer guy that I know, I talked about this. Somebody was violated, and this lawyer guy that I know actually brought the person into the courtroom, an empty courtroom, well before anything was going to happen, so they could see what courtroom they were going to be in, see the color of the walls, go through the whole desensitization process, look at the clock, see where the judge is going to sit, see where the jury's going to sit, and just let them sit in the chair with nobody around, just so they could experience that and just feel it and breathe and feel nervous and scared and have the heart palpitations, or what do you call it, Trace, when somebody's mouth's dry?
Cotton mouth.
Cotton mouth, yeah. So they can have cotton mouth, anything they want. They can sit there and go through that process. And that's what we want to do here. That's what we want to do with people here, is let them feel comfortable having small video chats with me or you or other people that they know.
That's exactly that. That's a really good analogy, because in a fearful situation, especially like you say, someone who's been violated and they're going to go into a courtroom.
Yes.
So they go into the courtroom and they get a chance to at least see the environment before they actually go into the courtroom. Let's say they're going to the courtroom for the very first time,
Yeah.
and they're the perpetrator or whatever that is there with them. Everything is scary. Not, I mean, the environment, just the situation, and everything. And I remembered, sort of to kind of segue it into a different topic, because I don't want this to sound like it was the courtroom, but when you and I first met, and you said you clicked on the video camera, and I'm like, I was scared as hell. I thought, I've never done a video sharing before.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. And I said, well, hell, here I go, because I mean, you made it feel safe.
Yeah.
And so we did that, and ever since then, it's just been a simple process. But it was scary the first time, because I've never done it before. And now it's just old hat, because we do it all the time. And we do the hangouts, we do videos, we do all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, you could be really, really bad, do a video and be really, really, really bad, because I guarantee you that the next one you do, you'll never be as bad as you were on the first one you did. And it's just the process of getting better and better and better. And at least people get a chance to see that you're a real person. You have a real life. You breathe and you talk like everybody else, but you have a personality, and people need to know that there's a human inside here, and you can start communicating, and then those skills actually start getting better, and the social skills and all that stuff actually do improve. But it cannot improve unless you take that first step to do so. And you've got a safe environment to do that, plus all the tools and all the training, and I'm really excited about all the stuff that Val, you were on fire the other night. You did the conference call you did last Wednesday night. You said you blew a little dust or a little rust off the old chassis.
Dust and rust, yeah.
Dust and rust, but you know what? That's just a taste of what's to come, because I know, in your history and what you produced with Mentors in Motion was really something to behold. A lot of people did a lot of great things after that. And so we've kind of said, really, this is part 2 in a new decade and a new era, and bringing it into sort of modern times. And I think that there's a lot more that's going to be brought to the table, because it's a little bit different environment. But everything that you have, I love our conversations. We get into very deep conversations, you and I do on a regular basis. And a lot of times I say, God, I wish we'd have recorded that. Because we are never stagnant in our conversations. We're always progressive. We're always going and searching out new avenues and debating a little bit about things, and throwing. The idea generation just gets thrown on the table, and it's neither good nor bad. It just is, and then we kind of cherry pick what develops out of that. And it's been a really interesting process going through that with you, because we think very similarly, and we come up with different attitudes and different viewpoints of things. But what we've come up with this whole site and everything, and all the future things that we've got in store for it, I'm just really proud of what we've done so far, and there's lots more to come. So
yeah, now we just got to get the word out there and get people to believe in the fact that being yourself is really important, and engaging and practicing and being authentic. And a lot of these books, tapes, videos, audios try to help us mold ourselves into someone we're not.
Yeah.
So we have to be as authentic as possible. That's okay.
Well,
so we want
I think that I said on a conversation, there's a lot of sort of the motivational stuff that is out there. I think it makes people thirsty, but it never quenches the thirst. It never solves the problem. And I think you had a really good analogy about that. How you put it is it never solves a problem. It has a case. I can't remember how you said it. It was right. It didn't.
Well, the good news is I can't remember how I said it. What was that?
Well, it was like it never solves the problem. It just the cause is a cause and effect.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
right?
They're treating effects with effects, but they're not treating the cause and effect. You know what I mean? It's like you go to a doctor treats an effect with an effect and creates another problem. Motivational speakers are along the same line. They teach you how to treat an effect with an effect. Like I said, they teach you how to take a lemon and get lemonade out of it, where what I want to know is, why did it become a lemon in the first place? So that's pretty much it. So our capture pages will allow people to express who they are, what they're all about, tell their story, and some fabulous templates that you can show some of the people here very, very shortly that I think are truly exciting. So I hope this Hangout's not really intimidating for people, because you know, it was really interesting talking to you know, somebody else. We won't mention any names, but very prominent marketer that has sold tens of thousands of products, had tens of thousands of people. He felt that, you know, like the presentation was totally, you know, fabulous, but he could see that people would be intimidated by actual factual data of me expressing the way I express it, right? Like, oh my God, he's like a bull running through a china shop or something like that. Where a lot of people feel really, the funny thing about this industry, Tracy, is people feel really comfortable when they're lied to.
Yeah. I don't
It's
get
just like they love talking to the devil in this industry, or talking to, you know, they just, well, you know, like, oh, all you need to do is bite into this apple, and you know, and you'll be able to make all this money. You know, it's almost like that's what I see. That's the way my brain thinks. You know, it just kind of reflects all the real simple, easy stuff. But the good news is, when you take a look at a lot of the successful online companies right now, like a friend of mine, Paul, out of England, he understands that he's got a group of people there that will not function very well unless they're trained properly. So he wants to refer a lot of them here. And the second factor is he's putting together a call center. Like, he's got a call mechanism structure in there that he's implementing as well, because he understands, unfortunately, you know, that you've got to do something. So what you're doing is you're treating an effect with an effect by putting the call center in there. The bottom line is people are afraid to return a phone call. And I don't get it. You know, I return my my daughter's phone call. I return my wife's phone call. I'll return your phone call. We just need to be in the business of returning phone calls and let people know, hi, my name's Val Smith. I understand you wanted me to return your phone call based on this. You know, marketing is just so easy like that. And it's really perplexing when you see how much money you can make being truthful, being authentic, being real. And then when all that's taken away from you, you see how much money's being wasted out there on the internet in people buying leads and paying for traffic and clicks. And what the hell are they doing with that stuff anyhow? They don't do nothing with it anyhow. Why would I take money out of my wallet? Why would I take money out of my wallet to pay somebody, a service provider, for something I'm not going to do anything with anyhow because I'm too afraid to?
Do you know what's funny? I've had people. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, do you see how contradictory that is? And I'm using that. There's other words I'd like to use, but I won't do it on a Hangout. in describing that type of behavior. But to me, I'll use one word. It's psychotic. It's a psychotic addiction. It really, really is. It's a very codependent, psychological, unhealthy, psychotic addiction to spending money out there to produce an illusionary end result that's not real. So at least I'm glad to see that responsible company owners are compensating to some degree by implementing call centers or call technicians that will help support those that are afraid to return a phone call. And we're in the business of returning information, returning the internet. The only thing I want from the internet is not somebody's website. I want their phone number, and outside of that, I can care less, because it's their phone number that makes me money. Their website makes me broke, you know?
Well, here's something I don't understand. I mean, I've heard you, and you've heard this from a lot of people, where they say, you know, I've got this spreadsheet. I've got like 1 million leads, you know, and I'm going, okay, whatever. Like, there's so many large organizations have begun with 5 people, 5 good people, you know, not 1 million, just 5 really good people. Connect with 5 people, and then, you know, work with them, work to build your organization. It all starts from a handful of people, and that's where people they get kind of confused with that, you know. And the other part of it, Val, is like, we are here. We're building a community. This is the hangout. This is our first hangout, and it's only kind of our inaugural one where we're just talking about, you know, we're opening the doors up just to say hello. We're just saying, you know, kind of explain what we've got. Going to show you a little tour of what we've got here on the website and the back office as well. But it's a community. We're building a community. And because it has nothing to do with us, we're just providing the tools. It's all about you. It's the I am, and you're going to see that video on the home page. It's I am, because it's all about you. And as we bring this community together and we learn from each other, we're going to have guests on the Hangouts, and it's not going to be just us talking. I mean, you get probably pretty tired of us, just the two of us talking after a couple of sessions, even though we can get into some pretty good topics. We have a lot of fun. But, it's about exposure. It's about building people up and helping people through those steps. And so I'm really excited about that, because we've had some Hangouts in the past that were a lot of fun. And there's some people that have got some great gifts. They may not even be, big or well-known networkers, but they've got some very good gifts. And we'll have the opportunity of sharing that, bring them on, and it's great exposure for everyone. So I think that part's going to be a lot of fun. I've missed these Hangouts we do them. It was definitely a therapy session, I think, for us, but we're looking forward to more of that. So what do we think? We should maybe take a spin through the website, Val.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's take a look at the website. Let's take a look at what some of the really cool creations are that are back there that will help stimulate some traffic to people's sites.
Okay, I'm going to there. So let me know if you can see my, is this your screen?
I can, yeah, looks great. I can see that.
It says present to everyone, so I guess okay, now I'm presenting to everyone, I'm assuming. Now, oh yes, you can see my mouse. Okay, so this is the home site. We've set up a demo site here, so it's this part of it. Here's the video that I was telling you that really should have a look at. And of course, on the bottom here, you're going to see this will be your name, and then it'll be a phone number here. But I just want to show you this because we're going to log in the back and we're going to do a few things that's going to change the structure of this a little bit, because right now it doesn't have any information about who this is from. So I've already logged in, and I've got the back office here. When you first log in, you've actually made your payment to your sponsor, made a payment $47 to admin and $100 to your sponsor. And we've got a really great video already that explains the compensation plan. So I'm not going to get into that here. Val might want to get into it a little bit after, but we've already done that, so we can refer that another time. But anyway, so you're going to get into your back office here, and the very first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put in your PayPal. I'm just going to put demo@gmail.com just to show you, and then you're going to update that. So we show you the very first thing you're going to want to do when you get into your back office here. You're going to want to update your payment sessions here. You can actually put in a personal note in here to contact people or for other methods, whatever the case may be. Make sure that you update that, because if you don't, then nobody has the ability to actually pay you. The other thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you get in. This is your dashboard, by the way, okay? And the next thing that you're really going to want to do is make sure that you have your profile set up with your contact phone number, because that's going to show on the front of the site. I'm just going to put 111-22233, and I'll show you where that shows up here in a moment. So make sure that you save that. But the other one that's really important here is your social media icons. And I've got a little text document here. I'm just going to go and copy and paste. Now, I've made some extra text in here to make sure that you've put your full link in here, not just your username. Skype, you can just put your username in. I'm going to put demo in here, if I can spell properly. Demo, and then I've just got some fake links here, just because I want to show you exactly what it's going to look like here. Bear with me just for a second. And some of these they're just made up. And you can, if you have a blog, it's really great because you can send people to your blog as well. Okay, so I'm going to save these changes, and I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like now on the front of the website, because it's going to make a big difference here. Okay, and you see what's happened now? It's going to have your username here, and all of these are links that can link directly to your sites, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, and all of these. So it's really great. They can hover here, find your Skype name, contact you, and now it has your telephone number down here. So very, very important to be doing all that kind of stuff. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do, we're going to get into, we'll go back to the dashboard, because this is the first place you're going to see it. These are your marketing links with these are your default marketing links. This one will take you to the home page of the website that I just showed you. And these are your actual marketing capture page links. And the Hangout page actually will have the Hangouts posted on there. So you can actually share the Hangout page, and they can buy directly from the buy button there as well. So here you've got your static capture pages and your video capture pages. I think I'm going to show you the video capture pages first, just because we really put a focus on having these done first, because as Val said, we're really pushing to have people get out there and do their videos. So here's some templates that we put together. I'm just going to show you a couple of them just to show you exactly what it looks like. Here's one with the boardroom. This has just got the default video in here for now, but it's got the boardroom. There's you. You're sitting at the head of the boardroom with your personal video in there, talking to people, and of course, telling them to fill out their information, and you'll get back to you. Let's go show you another one. Let's see. I'm going to give you a couple of examples just so you can see them. Here's one in a really nice limo. I would love to be sitting on one of those seats. Again, your video showing everybody who you are. And I'll show you one more. Let's see. This one. This is a really nice one too. Here's sitting on a patio. Look at that little Miami Beach patio. And there you have everybody's pulling up a cushion, and you're doing your video talk. Fill in the information and we'll get back to you, right? So now let's go back over, and now here's what you want to do is you want to choose as your primary capture page. There's number 4. So we've said, okay, we're going to choose number 4. Now here is that number 4 at the end here as your primary page. So you've chosen that one, right? And I'm going to show you something else about this here in a minute when I get to the other capture pages. So you can see right now we have a library. Right now there's 18, not including this one, but 18 video capture pages you can choose. Now you can only use one video currently. We may be able to set that up at a later date. We'll work on that. But right now, if you have one video, you can actually use different campaigns with different backgrounds and split test those. I'll show you how to do that in a moment. But let's go have a look at the actual capture pages. No, I'm going to do this first because it's in tune with setting up the video capture pages. How do you set up the video? I'm sorry, I'm going a little bit too fast here for my own good. The video pages need your video on it. How are you going to do that? Well, you're going to set up your YouTube video, and it says click here to set up the YouTube video. All right. Now I've got a little text document here. I'm going to show you. When you go to YouTube and you look in the URL bar up here, this will be the link that you see. If you click below the video and it says share, this is the link. Now it doesn't matter which one you use. All you need to do, and it says only the last 11 digits of the video ID. So don't put in the whole link. You only want to put in those video digits. Okay, so copy that, put that in there, paste it, and save the changes. And now you've updated it. So your video now is going to be in those capture pages, those video capture pages, okay? There you go.
And Tracy, the really cool thing is that's totally generic. They can use that to promote everything and anything out there and talk about their story and their experience.
Right, and I'm going to get into and I'll show that when I get into the autoresponder, okay? There's just so much information here. It's really simple, though. I don't want people to get overwhelmed with this because it really is simple. I've taken a couple of people through this, and they were very excited. They said, man, they were good to go. So I'll get into that with the autoresponder in a minute. So the capture pages, let's go here. And I'll just give you just an example. These are still being developed. We've got a few more here yet to do. These will be done in the next couple of days. But let's show you here, for instance. And these are all for different companies, whatever. Here's coffee, a license to print money. Let me show you how. That's a coffee one. Let's go and look at, let's see, this one. This is really cool. Get paid a minimum $100 a day for hanging out on social media? Yes, contact me now. Let's go one more here. This one here, this is kind of cool. Getting paid $1,000 a day through automation is pretty tough to take. Feel my pain. Ask me how. So there's some pretty cool ones. I mean, I'm not going to show you all of them. You can go and click on these and take a look at them as you as you want. And again, I said these ones will be updated here in the next couple of days as well. So let me talk about, I'm going to come back to this tracking here in a minute. Let me talk about setting up your autoresponder. There's a couple of things. We have an autoresponder built into our system. You don't have to do anything. It works for you. All you got to do is just choose your capture page. Somebody fills out your form. They get a welcome email. You get a notification that you've got a lead. You go into your contact manager right here, and you'll have all that information right here. You'll have their name, their phone number, and their email here. Go pick up the phone and make connection with them. Okay. If you want to get rid of them, you can delete it, and then make sure you delete it twice out of the trash can as well if you want to keep your system clean. But now for people, that sends that kind of generically back to our Mentoring Millionaires site, obviously. If you use Aweber, and Aweber is great because, I mean, you can get the first month for free and then make the decision whether you want to use it or not. We actually do have Aweber set up here, where all you have to do is here, Aweber users configure your autoresponder. We've got a campaign set up. All you need to do here is choose. Right now, it's not applicable. That's our system autoresponder. And then, of course, you can choose Aweber and follow the directives. People who have Aweber are pretty versed in that. And if you're not and you need some help, just all you need to do is contact us at support and we'll walk you through it. It's not a big deal. So with Aweber, now you can either use the campaign letters that we've written for you, or you can put your own whole campaign together and send it wherever the heck you want. If you want one of the coffee ones, you like the capture page, guess what? It's going to send it directly to all of your letters that you've written to a completely different website that you already have set up, or a company website, or whatever you want. So it's completely generic. You don't have to be stuck rotating through this system. Although it's a good option because, I mean, it's great. I mean, we've got everything internal here already set up for you to work. So that's how the autoresponders work. Now let's just talk a little bit about the tracking part, because people say they want to split test, because some marketers like to split test things, and so here's what you're going to do. Let's just say, for instance, you want to set up a Facebook campaign. Just let's say, so we're going to call it FB. Okay, so add tracking. We're going to create a tracking account. All right, so we've created it. Now we're going to go back to our one of our capture pages, video pages, whatever the case may be. So right now we've got a primary video page of number 4, and it doesn't matter which one. You can just change this number and use whatever you want. But you're going to use video page number 4, and you're going to add a tracking code of Facebook to it and update the link. So now you can track this. Okay, and you got your statistics here to do so. So now you can track that particular campaign. So you might do one on LinkedIn with a different page number. So just, it doesn't matter. You can just change the, make sure that you create another tracking ID, and then do the same with that. You can do as many as you want, and you can do that with the video pages and the capture pages. Let's see. And now I really want to make sure that I give this its full worth, because this is, Val, why don't you talk a little bit about this? All right.
Yeah, this to me is probably one of the most exciting parts. We call it the Village. This course kind of went through numerous different names over the years, but it's the ultimate mindset course. I've been exposed to everything: books, tapes, videos, audios, and you name any of the experts out there that are relevant. I've pretty much been to their seminars at least once anyhow. And they've been exciting, but you know what? A lot of the motivational stuff wears off after 3, 4, 5 days. A lot of the philosophies and theories that they preach are also historically not scientifically relevant, in dealing with people's behaviors and, habitual patterns. This is the greatest course I've ever been exposed to. We had this course that you're seeing right now, just in the audio format, sold for $1,250. Just to take this one course alone, you could eliminate everything else. You could just focus on this one course and nothing else, and go out there and develop an unbelievable lifestyle income. Go out there and believe in build an unbelievable, rapport with people just in everyday life. This is the course that took me from shy, scared, introverted, to not feeling good about myself, to understanding every event that happened to me in my life exactly the way it did, why it did at a subconscious level. And I actually taught in Mentors in Motion, I taught various different variations of this course, captain and crew, but bringing it into a little bit more, 2000, the year 2000, 2004, and its times. And I had a psychotherapist. She was a psychotherapist out of Arvada, Colorado, contact me, and she took my course, and she said, what you taught me, I was able to solve an issue in somebody's life in 45 minutes, help them understand a cause and effect principle in their life that normally, she's been working with this individual for 7 years. But after she took the course based on what it was I was sharing, they had a 45-minute breakthrough when I showed her a couple things that she could implement in the next therapy session. And that person just went from in a really dark place to just a much better place in the game of life. And then when you really, people that have access to this type of information, which is not taught in high school, college, and university anywhere in the world, when you know this stuff, you have an advantage over everybody. It's kind of like, the best example I could give you is like, imagine going back in time and you have a warship and you have a warplane and you have machine guns, and then you go back in time to 1742. You're going to obliterate them. Any army, any kingdom you'll take over if you have modern day technology. And this course is exactly the same thing. This course taught me how to close people 24 hours before I ever met them at a restaurant or at a meeting or at a physical structure. There are unbelievable esoteric universal principles that you can apply that will put you, in the cutting edge. So, absolutely phenomenal stuff. This is the stuff that I teach, my kids. They're never going to be taught this in any high school, college, university. And I remember showing this. I took a college course just a little bit later as an adult. There was a college.
Oh, looks like you froze. Did we lose you? Oh, not sure. Looks like we might have.
And he was a year in income, and then he went on in the game of life to generate a whole lot more. It was pretty exciting. So, Tracy, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Without me rambling on for 45 minutes.
All right. No, I'm excited. I haven't listened to all of it, but I have listened to a great deal of it, and it is pretty mind blowing. And I think I'm pretty versed in a lot of stuff, but this is really mind blowing, and I think people are going to really enjoy this an awful lot. So I guess that's pretty much it for here. The support desk is we answer the calls. I mean, there's info and support, and whatever way you want to get a hold of us. I mean, there's a contact form on the website. There's support, interior support tickets here. And now, if you're using this internal support, make sure that you come back here to check that it's been replied to, and then click on the link to open up to read. This does not send to your personal email, just so you know. However, if you send anything directly to support or to info, then we certainly do take the time to address any of your concerns or whatever. And what we want to hear, we want to get feedback and all that kind of stuff. These other links here are just duplicates of whatever's on the left-hand side here to make it accessible. And of course, user notifications here is you'll see it up here as well as when you have a new lead. It'll let you know up here, and of course in your user notifications. And then of course you've got it'll show you this. These of course are we've been clicking on this. This is where the people are coming from and what browsers they're using and whatnot. So it's very powerful. Your referrals are going to show up here as well. And in your autoresponder contacts here. So it's really simple, but it's really powerful. And, like I say, we're just coming out of the gates with this. So lots more to come, lots more development. You're going to see a lot more marketing banners and all that kind of stuff as we go forward too. And Val's going to do some short, minute videos or whatever, 2-minute videos.
3-minute videos, segments of Mentors in Motion, things that are viable, things that are relevant, things that people should know. How do you get somebody to say yes in 45 seconds or less? Understanding what I mean by the art and science, marketing is the art and science of empowering, communicating, developing a relationship with another human being. People should really understand what the word art means in a science. And, we're not blowing hot air here. We're blowing, technology, which is the human being in this case. It's all about the I am, the two most powerful I can't get the words. The two most powerful words in the universe outside of other words is I am. I am. This is me. This is what I represent. And I can't go back in time and relate to when I was afraid to let myself be a part of the business. I just would never want to go back to that world. I want people to know who I am. I just know that if I'm going to do business with somebody and I'm going to send somebody money or accept money, I want them to know who they're dealing with.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's only logical. It's only common sense. And this industry, unfortunately, is not built on common sense. A lot of this industry, I would say, 98% of it's built on, instantaneous manipulation. And I think it's very misleading and unethical. And, it's just the way it is. People are afraid to let somebody know who they are. And it's really unfortunate. We're supposed to be in the home-based business arena. We're not in the home-based hangout arena where you got to hang out and hide out. You want to, I like what, some of the other companies say, you don't want to be in business and be a secret service agent, where people don't know who you are. They're looking, this is a business. Treat it like a business. It's kind of, it's like the barber shop. It's like going to the florist. It's like going to your grocery store. You get to know people in the community. Shake hands. Let them get to know who you are. Share your ideas with them, concepts with them. And if you don't want to go to your family and friends, that's okay. You don't need to do that either. But there's a lot of people out there that are looking for something. And unfortunately, too many people are hiding and not sharing the information and hoping that external mechanisms will, basically compromise for their feeling insecure about building a successful business. I mean, think about it. Think about the different laws. I just want to throw this in there. I mean, think about anyone that's ever think about people that have won a lottery. People that lottery ticket winners, what happens to them years later? I mean, they're usually broke. Yeah, they're broke. They commit suicide. They become drug addicts. They get involved in unhealthy relationships. And that's the law of the universe kicking in. You must be in order to do, in order to have. And if the word be means I'm scared, intimidated, I'm broke, I'm afraid to make money, although I want to make money, you must be in order to do, then you can only be in order to do the things that a broke, scared, nervous, shy, introverted person would do in order to have, be, do, have, in order to have that end result in your life. You can't cheat God. You can't cheat the universal laws. I'm not here to preach God or anything like that. But whatever you believe in, a higher power, you don't believe in anything, whatever it is, you just can't cheat the universal laws. And there's a law of gravity, if you walk off a 30-story building, all the power, positive thinking, all the goal setting, all the motivational crap out there is not going to save you. You're going to hit the ground whether you like it or not. It's just the law of gravity.
Yeah, totally true.
Totally
true.
So I think we're good, Trace. I think we're good for.
I think we're really good. I just want to point out here that we have on the Hangout and on the homepage, on every one of the pages, there's the opportunity for people to actually purchase from you here on this button. The subscribe is to the Google Hangouts here, so you'll get notifications. We do encourage you to subscribe to the channel so that when we do set these sessions up, and we're going to have people as guests on here as well. So we're really excited about what we're doing. I'll just stop the screen sharing there and back. So it's been fun. This has been a fun. This is our maiden voyage on the Hangout.
For this one, and it's going to be good. We can bring Jack Sufelt on here. Todd Falcone, a whole bunch of people. If you just want to hear a little bit about their stories or what works for them or what doesn't work for them, or why they hold the position they hold in their business opportunities, and they might give us some golden nuggets along the way too. We'll have other people that are in the industry that have something valuable to say or just want to be a part of a panel and observe and maybe talk for 3, 4, 5 minutes. Everyone can have their say. But the idea is to create exposure. Without exposure, there's no closure, and I just know that I keep saying this all the time. I didn't propose to my wife through an autoresponder, nor would I. So I just don't get half the crap they teach on the internet. It's just a fool's paradise out there in a lot of cases. So what a great way to end a call, a fool's paradise. But no, this is going to be fun. It's going to be exciting, and there's going to be a lot of great people that come. I really believe in my heart that there are real people out there that are conscientious, enthusiastic, and want to learn how to become giant communicators as opposed to hiding in the mouse hole and living in the dark. There's no, I mean, it's time to come out of the dark ages and be a real live human being and let people know how much you care about them. And if you're in business, you should be caring about your prospects. If you don't, you're probably going to have the smallest organization on the team, and you're probably going to be dealing with a lot of chargebacks. That happens, So.
No kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding. Well,
so let's make it happen. Let's rock and roll. Let's make it happen. Trace, back to you.
Awesome. Well, Val, we've come to the top of the hour. It's been great as always. I love hanging out with you. I love hanging out with all of you as well. So we'll be here again. We'll post it out our next hangout. But in the meantime, we'll have this hangout posted so you can review it and then send it off to your friends and cohorts as well. So thanks for joining us, Val. Thank you always as always, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.
Keep the dream alive.
Okay.